Hello guys, welcome to RX Tutorials. This is the Python data visualization class or video series, and then we are going to do line charts. We've done the first part of the video where we looked at the basic syntax of the plotting a line graph or line chart in the Python programming. We used a simple scenario or case study, and then we plotted a line graph, the sales trend. In this video, we are going to do the problem of the day, which is to find the monthly sales trend for all the years. That is, we are going to plot all the years on one graph. So how are we going to do this? So first of all, let me import the data. When I import the data, I'll also share the link with the data and also all the codes. But when I share, you can download the data, pause the video and try it at home, whether you'll be able to solve it. Otherwise, you can just code along with me whilst we code. So just take a seat, relax, and then let's zoom straight to action. So first of all, I'll import my data. So I'll assign a variable to this, and I'm going to say that my data is equal to, it's a CSV file. So I'll just import the data. That is our company sales data. Data.csv, then we run this. Let me just visualize this the head. So we have the first 5 rows. So in this data we have a lot of columns, and then this is a massive data. So we have our order dates, our city, our regions. We have the profit and the sales as well. So when we check the info, our data info, we see that we have a total of 17 columns, and then we have 5,249 entries or rows. So as you can see, the data is quite huge. So first of all, we know that we have our order date or our date, and then when we check our order date, our data type is object, our ship date as well is also object. So our first task is to convert the order date and ship date to date time. So that's our first task, because we have to get the data type right. So we'll convert this into a date time. Let me just mark this down. So we'll be first of all convert this into a date time. So we are going to quote the column. So our column is our order date. Then I'm going to say our column is equal to, and I'm going to use the pandas date time function to convert this. This is the date time, and then we quote our column, and then our column is going to be the order date. When we run this, let me add the ship date as well. So we can just copy this. And paste it here. Then we can replace, because we want to change the ship date also to a date time function. So I can just delete only this to ship. We can delete this as well to ship. And then I'll run this. So when I want to check the new, whether we have converted it, so you can see that our order date has now been converted to a date time, and our ship date has also been converted to a date time. So we are on the right path. That's our first step. So take note, our first step, we converted this to date time. And then our second step is, because we have our date time, I would want to extract or create a new column that will have the month and also the years. So we have to extract the months and years from the order date, or create a new column for this. So to do this, we'll use the pandas. Then I'm going to specify the column. So first of all, I want to name this month. That's my new column name. And then I'm going to say my month is going to be my order date dot day, the date time, and then I'm going to extract the month. And I'm also going to say, I can copy this and paste it here. So my second column, that's my new column, I'll name this year. And then I'll also extract my year from the order date, which is this. So my new column, which is year, is going to be my order date. And in this case, I'll change this to year. Then when I run this, so when I want to visualize this, let me visualize just the, let's say 10 rows. And then when I check my new data, you can see that I've added a new column. So now when we check the data.info, you see that our column has increased. So let's check. We had a total of 17 columns. So you can see we had 17 columns. And then now we have 19 columns. So I've added a new column. And in this column, this is the month column. So this is actually giving us the month number. So for this row, the month was November, and then we have 11 here. And then this was June, we have 6 here. So it has extracted the month number. And then the last column, we also have our years. So for each year, we've extracted the years also from the order date. Our next step is to change our month numbers to month name. So I want to make a remark here. Step 2, that is to change month numbers names, month names. Because you can see the column, the new column I created, we have the month. So November is 11, but I would want to see the month names. So let me make this a remark. So that's our next task. So we will import calendar, and then I'm going to create a new column. In this column, I'm going to call it, let me use month name, and I'm going to assign this is equal to my data, and then I'll quote my month. So this is simply specify the column, which is the new column I added, which is this. So I'm going to say, give me a new name, give me a new column, which is the month name. And I'm going to get this name from this column data.month, and I'll use the lambda function. So I'm going to apply the apply function, and I'll use the lambda. So I'm going to map this. I'm going to say my calendar dot month. Now I'll abbreviate this. So this simply is that my month name, my new column, which will give me a month name, should be equal to this column, which is the month, and I'm going to apply the lambda function because I've already imported the calendar. So give me the month, and then I want to abbreviate this. So when I run this, you see that my new column has been created, and this is the name I gave to my new column, and then this is the month name. So we can check out the new month. So the month name for all the years or for all the months. So we are done with our second task, which is very good. We've completed our second task. Our third step is to convert or to group. I want to group my data by month, and I'm going to use the month name because I want to plot the chart with the month name on the horizontal axis, and the vertical axis will be the sales. Because our task is to plot a line graph showing all the years with the monthly sales trend. So first, my step 3 is gonna be to group by month name. I'm going to group my data by month name. So my data, which is a variable I've assigned, our data is our data. I'm going to use a group by function. I'm going to say my data is group. I'm going to group by. I'll pass a list because I want to group by the month name and also my year. So I'll just quote my columns. So let me check the name I give. This is the month name here. It's in. So this will be my month name, and then my next column is going to be my year. Our year is also this year. So I've passed this into a list. This is because we are taking two categories. And then I'm going to group this. I'm going to group this by the sales. So our sales, then our aggregate function is going to be the sum function. I'm going to reset our index. So when I want to, let me assign a variable to this. So I'll call this our new data. So I'm going to say my new data is going to be, that is my data, and I'm going to group this by the month name and also by the year that I've created. These are all the new columns that we created, and then I'm going to group by the sales, and then our aggregate function, because when you use the group by, you always have to specify the aggregate function you are grouping this by. So we can group by the mean, we can group by a lot of aggregate functions. So in this case, I want to sum by the sales. And so when I visualize this, which is my new data dot head, and then I want to see, let's say, 10 rows. So you see that it has grouped all my data by the month name. So you can see in this case, we have the month names and the year, because I specified that I want to group by the month name, the year, and also the sales. So you have all the sales, the year, and also the month name. So gradually we are almost there because we want to plot the month name and we want to plot the months by the sales, and we have all the years because we want all of them on one chart. That is from 2017 to 2020, all on one chart. We want to see the monthly sales trend for all the years. Our next step is to transform our data. Because we want to plot our months by the sales, our years should be in the column section, and then we'll have also our months. So you after we are done, you'll see what I'm talking about, because we want to plot this our years, all the years on one chart. We want to transform our data in such a way that we'll have the years in the column sections. So in that case, I'm going to import numpy, and I'm going to say let's assign a new variable to this. So my table is going to be, we are going to use a pivot table function. So a table pivot table, and then I'm going to quote my data, and my data is new data because I assigned data. Sorry about that. I assigned a new variable, which is this, the new data. So I'm going to just quote my new data, and then I'm going to say my values is going to be the sales, and also my index is going to be my month name, because I want to see the month name, not the month numbers or the month numbers. So I'll use the month name. So I'll quote my month name, which is the month name column. Let me check whether we use the capital now. So that's a month name, and also to specify the columns. And I'm going to say my columns is equal to my year. I have my year, and then my aggregate function, and then I'm going to quote numpy. I'm going to use the sum function, so that is going to be all, and then I'll reset my index. So let me check this if this is correct. So let's go over this line of code. This is a new variable I signed because I want to transform this data in such a way that the year column is going to split the years, that is 2017 up to 22, for in different columns. So I are going to have a 2017 column, 2018 column, 2019, and then 2020, and it's going to group this by the sales and also the month names. So we used the pivot table function, and in this case we quoted our data, which is the new data. In the value section, we specified that we want the sales to be our values, and then we use the index function to index the month name. In our columns, I wanted to see the year, so I specified the column I would want to see, and then with the aggregate function I use numpy, and then I want to sum this. So we closed our bracket, and also I want to reset our index. So I think it's correct. And so when I run this, when I want to visualize this, I'll say that head, and I want to see this. So you can see that our data has been regrouped, because in this case we had the month names and the years and also the sales in one. The years, you see that all the years they were in one column, but we've regrouped this using the pivot table function, and then you can see that we have the 2017 column, 2018, 2019, and also 2020, and then it has grouped this by the month name, and also I indexed the year. I use the year as my index, so we are on the right path. And our last but one step, what I want to do, as you can see from the month, you see that it's not sorted. So I would want to sort this, because when I plot my graph, I don't want a graph that is showing April, August, the month will be mixed up. As you can see, look at the position of January in the fourth month, and then July also. So they are all just mixed up. So we would have to sort this, and then I would want to sort this from January to December. That's the standard way of doing things. So I want to sort this. In that case, I will want to import. Let me make a remark here. So this is going to be our step 3. I think so. Now step 4. Our step 4 is to sort the month. So we are going to sort the month, and then I'm going to comment this out. So I'll first of all import date time. Then I'm going to create a function. I'm going to call it my month function. Then I'm going to iterate this. I'm going to use for. I'm going to say for the date, that is the date in range. I'm going to loop through the date. I'm going to say that the date in my range, which is 1 to 13. So all I'm doing is that, with index the years. So you know that the month from 1 to 12, and then when you add the index, so I'm going to loop through this. I'm going to say for the date in the range, which is 1 to 13, I'm going to, my month name is going to be equal to my date time, and then I'm going to use the date time to convert this. I'm going to set my index of the date to be 2020. That's the last date. And then I'll use my function. So I've set my base year, which is the final year, which is the 2020. So I'll go over the function when I'm through, and I'm going to convert this to a string. What I want to do is that because I'm accessing the date with a month name, which is the month numbers, so I quoted from 1 to 13. I want to access the month name. So in that case, it was going to be a string, and I'm going to say my string, which is the time, and then I'm going to, it should be double quotes. I'm going to convert this. So I'll quote my month, which is going to be my month name. I'm going to say this is equal to my date, and then my table, which is my month name, is going to be my table here, and then I'll quote my month name again. I'm going to map this with my month. So we can assign a new variable. So I'll call this variable table 1, and then I'm going to sort this, which is this table. I'm going to sort this, the values. I'm going to sort this by the month number. With a single quote, month number. So let me go over this. First of all, we imported our datetime, and then I created a function, and I'm going to call this the month. And then I loop through. I'm going to say for each date in this range, and I quoted a range of this. So I assigned a variable, and this variable I call it month name is the same variable here. So I'm saying I pass this variable, which is a month name, and I imported the datetime function. I set up my index or the base, which is 2020, and then I'm going to say that for this year, which is the base, is going to give me the date, and then I converted this line of code, converts this to a string because we use a string function, and this percentage, and then we just quoted in what way we want to convert this. So our month, we specify that our month, which is going to be the month name, is equal to, we assign this is going to be equal to the date. So in that case, my table, which is the month name, is going to be equal to the month name, and then I'll map this to the month, which is the function that I created here. So I want to visualize our new table. So I'll write, so remember that we've assigned a new variable to this table that we are going to transform. That is, we're going to sort this according to the month. So in that case, our new table is table 1 dot head, and then when I run this, you can see that our month name has been sorted. So in this case, we have January, February, March, April, because we specified that sort this according to this function that we created. So we've done the most difficult part. We've sorted our months. So our last part is going to be plotting. That is the sales trend. Let's add the monthly sales trend for all the years. So we start by writing our code to plot the graph. So our new data is table 1, and then I'm going to say plot this. Let's specify our x-axis. I'm going to plot the x-axis. We want to see the month name, which is this, our month name, and then our y-axis is going to be, we have to pass this onto a list because we want to see the y-axis, that's our new columns, that is 2017 up to 2020 is going to be our y-axis. So we just code this, so 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. So these are our new columns here. And I'm going to specify the marker type. So in this case, I want to use a circular. You can also specify the marker size and all that. So that's not really important. And then I'll say my plot dot show. So when I run this, you can see that we have all our trends, our monthly sales trend. So our legend, which shows the 2017, that is the years and each color. So 2017 up to 2020. And then we have our month also sorted from January up to December. So we can add some labels as well. We can, because it wouldn't be nice to leave the chart just like this with no title, no label. So let's add some labels and titles. We can also add some grid lines, which is not really important. So let's add the labels. I want to add my X labels, and then my X is going to be, my X label is going to be my month. So I'll quote, so I want to call it month. I can change the font size. I want to specify font size of 18. And then our Y label, let me just copy this and change this. Just put it here and change this to Y. And then my Y label is going to be sales. Let me add a title. I'm going to call it monthly sales. That's monthly sales trend by years. Yes, I think it's okay. So when we run this, you see that we have our title, we have our month, we have our sales. We can also increase our title so that it will be a bit bigger, like the same as that. So we make it 18 as well. So this is bigger. So we have our monthly sales trend. As you can see, there was a jump from which is November, a huge jump from September to October, and then from October to November, you see that we had a rise, a huge jump or change in sales. That is for 2019. You can see that the same for 2018 and 2017. So we can find some insights why always from September to October, there's a dip, little steep one for 2019, and then there's a rise, huge rise in November. So we really increase our sales. There's a huge rise of sales in November. So that's how we can really interpret our data and also get insights into. So far too soon, we've come to the end of the video. We've solved our problem of the day. I guess you also tried this at home. Just pause the video before I start and then try this at home. When you finish, you can compare. There are different ways to go about this. So check out other videos as well. You can leave your comments if you have any difficulty. You can leave your comment in the comment section of the video. And then if you have any contribution as well, you can leave your comments in the comment section of the video. Check out other videos. Don't forget, it's very important. Subscribe to our channel. Be part of our community. Let's grow our community. Let's raise up top talents. And also let's land our dream job. So take care and then be good. Bye.